Hello and welcome to Whisky Resource. My name's Mark and this is Whisky Review number 18. I'm going to continue on with an American whisky. This time I'm going to be looking at a rye whisky. So the whisky rye of choice today is Sazerac Straight Rye. So Sazerac Rye gets its name from the Sazerac coffee house in New Orleans back in the 1800s. It's the apparently the very first whiskey cocktail, the Sazerac cocktail, that became famous because of rye and bitters. Sazerac Rye is owned by the Sazerac company, who own Buffalo Trace. So this is made by Buffalo Trace. It's bottled at 45% ABV. What makes it a rye whisky? Well, it has a 51% rye content in the mash bill. To be a straight rye, it needs to be aged for 2 or more years. That's it. Bourbons, it's 2 or more. It has to have an age statement of 2 or 3. If it's more than 4 years, then they don't need an age statement to call it a straight bourbon. Rye is slightly different. Same rules apply with colour, so there's no colour added to this. However, we believe it is chill filtered. Disappointingly enough, the Buffalo Trace website, it's a good website, worth visiting, they don't make any mention of whether it's been chill filtered, which, quite frankly, it's disappointing that they don't mention these things. They don't tell you the age either. So, a previous version of Sazerac Rye a few years ago had a 6-year-old age statement, and some online retailers still carry that age as 6 years, but it's also led to believe to be aged 4 years. So all I can do with regards to a value score is go off the 4-year-old. I can't value it on a 6-year-old because it might not be something that it isn't. So it retails for an average price of £45.67. However, 2 of the big online retailers are marking it down at the minute to below £40. About £37 at the minute is kind of the going price, which that's a good £8 off a bottle of Sazerac. Unfortunately, I don't consider discounted prices. I go with the standard retail price. So 45.67 stands, which gives a value score of 86.39. What helped along with that value score was the fact that it's got a decent ABV of 45%. I think that's pretty much all to be said about the Sazerac Rye. I'm not going to go into the details of what makes a rye whisky other than that it's 51% rye mash bill. I will be putting some information in my notes on the website. So we'll go straight into the nosing and the tasting. Now the bottle, just to quickly show you that, it's quite a nice bottle. It's got quite a long neck. It has a plastic, it's a wood effect, but plastic cap to it with a natural cork, and it's a plain white label on the front, plain white text on the back with the GB import sticker and GB duty paid sticker. It's a 750ml bottle, 750ml bottle. Distilled by the Buffalo Trace Distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky. 90 proof. So you can see by the bottle, it's about halfway through that now. I think that was the first, I'm correct in saying it's the first rye whiskey I've ever bought under the nose. So instantly it does smell similar to bourbon. If I was to do a side-by-side comparison, I'd probably pick out the differences, but it does say bourbon to me, but it's not. It's a rye, different mash bill. So it's sweet. It's quite spicy. About cinnamon spice, toffee. The sweetness is more of a fruit sweetness Whilst there is a bit of honey there, it is more of a fruit sweetness. I don't know why I swirl my glass when I smell it. I don't think it makes any difference. It's just habit. Only when I stick my nose really deep do I get the alcohol burn, which is understandable, but the alcohol isn't actually too bad, even though it is 45% ABV. A little bit of milk chocolate. And I would say that sweet fruitiness, it seems to be coming across as like a cinder toffee. So it's probably fair to say that this has got notes of Cadbury's crunchy. Just a little bit. I wouldn't say it is a crunchy, it's just some notes of that in the palate. It's not. It's bitter. It's not amazingly sweet. The sweetness of the nose tends to not present itself much on the palate. It's spicy. I'm gonna stick with the toffee. It does seem to be toffeed. It is quite smooth. It seems to be quite dense, smooth and dense. A lot of the flavours don't really want to give themselves away. It's that dry and bitterness of the oak, because like bourbon, it's in charred new American oak. So is going to be bitter, and it does come across very oaky. We'll put some water in. 45, I think this needs taming a bit because it's not really releasing anything, and the glass was creating quite a few legs. So I'm going to be quite generous on the water because I think it needs it. Now this is designed as a mixing whiskey for cocktails, as it was originally designed. So on the nose, it's not jumping out the glass as much now, but I have put a bit of water in there. It seems a little bit sweeter, more oak. Yeah, those legs have tamed a bit. They're still there, but they're a bit thinner. A bit of vanilla there. A bit of pepper, chili pepper maybe. It doesn't really give away an awful lot. It's that other than dry and bitter spice at the finish. There's something there. It is similar to licorice in a way. A very subtle licorice, but licorice nonetheless. Now, ryes are spicier than bourbons, and it is spicier than some of the bourbons I've had recently. That finish is a little off-putting. I'd probably say that on an overall score it's an 84. It's a nice rye. It is a nice whiskey, but it doesn't really lend itself to sipping. It's not an enjoyable sipper, which is disappointing, but that's what's going to get today, 84. Right, that's that done. Yeah. Oh, the audio. I've got an external microphone now, so I don't know if the audio has actually been any better than previous videos. We'll see. Yes.